Okay, so I wanted to quickly demonstrate how to use the SciCommander tool. SciCommander is a small tool to capture some provenance information for plain normal shell command usage without needing to use a full pipeline system or anything like that. So by running things through SciCommander, you track certain information about every command that you run, and then in the end you can produce like HTML reports or create a shell script that reproduces that file and that kind of thing. So to show how you can work with SciCommander, the first thing is to know that the command itself is called just sci. And if you run sci like we just did without any extra subcommands or flags or anything like that, you will drop into the shell mode like we do here. And here you also see some simple, short like K-bits about how you can things to think about. So the most important things are that for certain commands that are by default not run through SciCommander, you can force it to be run through SciCommander by prepending them with the greater than sign. And for some commands like cat, for example, that is normally run through SciCommander, you can force it to run outside of SciCommander with the exclamation mark. And then we have two commands here then later, two HTML and two shell, and that we can run on audit files that are created by SciCommander. Anyway, let us just jump in here and let's create some file, some content, and I will just create some DNA data here or something like that, and execute it and save it to a file called dna.txt. And what we see done is that SciCommander is capturing this command and it's executing it, and then when it's finished we get some information about how long it took. And if we list the output here, we see that we have got the file that we created containing the stuff we expect, but we also got another file called similar as the output file, but with the .au extension. And if we check the output of that one, do it with less, for example, then we see that it's a JSON file with some information about the command itself, the output, and some metadata about the duration, time, etc. So to show what you can really do with SciCommander, we should do something with the output of this first command. So we could, for example, reverse the command. So if we do that, you will see that we just get the same output reversed. But if we then save this to another file, then SciCommander will again capture the information about this command. Then, if we take this file and the audit file created for this one and do to HTML for this one, and now I will need to switch the window. There, we got it. So here you see that we get a report for this file, dna.rev.txt, which is the second output file here. And then we actually see all of the commands that were used to come up with this file from the start to the end. So we see those first two commands and the files that were created. So we can create this kind of report for any output of like the kind of ad hoc pipeline that is created when you are running your commands. And it will be specific to that output file only. And it will include all the steps up to that command or the final command that produced that file as well. So this of course gets much more interesting after you have some really complicated commands, and I will later create videos where I show some more realistic examples of this. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this small demonstration, and see you again later.